friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. You can find Fort Worth Roots on all of your favorite streaming services and on social media listed as Fort Worth Roots. And there are YouTube videos associated with these. So if you got time to check out our pretty faces, pop on over to YouTube, type in Fort Worth Roots, and it'll pull up our available catalog. Join us at the end of this episode for more information on our sponsors and events that we have coming up. Real quick, this episode is sponsored by Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. You can get them at roofingsolutionsHouck.com or phone number 817-882-6520. More information about them at the end of this episode. Our guests join us today on the Fort Worth Roots podcast to talk about Amplify817's showcase. You're going to find several podcasts around town that are highlighting these artists that are going to be in the Amplify817 showcase. Amplify817 showcase features 5 dynamic Fort Worth acts. On Friday, August 18th, the Fort Worth Public Library will host its second Amplify817 showcase, highlighting a diverse mix of Fort Worth-based musicians hosted on the Amplify817 streaming platform. The free concert at Will Rogers Auditorium starts with a special outdoor pre-show performance at 6:30 p.m. The showcase starts on the iconic Will Rogers Auditorium stage at 7 p.m. The showcase lineup includes courtyard entertainment outside the auditorium from taiko drum band Gusagi, who joined Amplify817 in 2022. The onstage lineup follows inside with Amanda Victoria, Fantamello, Denver Williams, and closes the evening with Lou Charles. Admission to the Amplify817 showcase is complimentary thanks in part to the support from community donors through the Fort Worth Public Library Foundation. Reservations can be made at fwpl.info/817. Parking within the Will Rogers Memorial Center is $12 per car. Pre-show activities will also include the acceptance of instrument donations into the library's instrument lending program. They'll accept string, percussion, and keyboard instruments at this time. Amplify817 is a commercial-free music streaming platform managed by the Fort Worth Public Library that exclusively features Fort Worth, Texas artists. The library hosts 2 curated rounds of submissions annually to choose artists who represent the diverse musical sounds of Fort Worth. You can check them out at www.amplify817.org. And after I did a bunch of editing, I'm sure that sounded wonderful. I did not write that. That is the press release by the Fort Worth Public Library sent to me by our friends over there at Amplify817. We really want you guys to come check this thing out. Like we said, I think twice there, it is complimentary. The admission has been paid for by donors like yourself who can go to the Fort Worth Public Library or Amplify817.org and make donations to this outstanding organization. We're going to talk about that a little bit during this episode. Aside from all that, we are actually here to interview a new musician who we have not had on the show before, and we're very excited to introduce to you if you haven't heard about her already. That is enough talking out of me. Thank y'all for being here. Please give it up for our friend Rita Alfaro from the Fort Worth Public Library and Amplify817, and a new rising local Fort Worth musician, Amanda Victoria. Thank you again for being here. Let's start the show. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's one of the things we're going to have to fix immediately.
You're all good.
It's getting some longer cables.
Is this a new space?
This is a new space. That's why everything's just kind of like janky and there's cords everywhere. And I last minute put some painter's tape down on the extension cords so nobody would trip over them. And yeah, it's the first time we've used this space. So
wow.
Have you ever been on a podcast before?
So I used to make a podcast.
Oh, cool.
And then it stopped because of creative differences. But
so it was a pair of you doing it?
Yeah, but it was really, really fun when we did it. It was about kind of creativity, but also like personality stuff. So like Myers-Briggs and Enneagram and all that. So I love talking about that kind of stuff. But
can people still find that podcast?
Yeah, it's called Originality. So it's still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll check it out.
What's your Enneagram? I'm curious now.
Mine is 3 wing 4.
Okay. I think mine last time I checked was 6 wing 5.
This is what Kelly was talking about the other day. She was like, "What number are you?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Well,
I think you're a 5.
I feel very stereotypical because a 3 wing 4, like their actual nickname is the performer. because basically 3s just want a bunch of validation. We live off of validation, so it's great for an artist.
Know thy own self.
Yeah.
Good enough.
I can't remember what a 6 was. I think I'm just anxious all the time or something. I don't know.
I guess I've never taken the test.
I tried to take it the other morning, and it was like 20 minutes long, and I was like, no, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
Sometimes they charge you for
They
them
do.
too, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. But there's books at the library. Just gonna plug the library there if you wanna check out books on that.
Yeah.
What if just by opting out early, it's like, oh, you're a this because you left the test?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're definitely this.
Yeah.
It's got you evaluated just based on that.
Actually,
nice.
yeah. If anyone who would just opt out early, it would probably be the 4 because they don't. Well, I don't. I could talk about this forever.
Well, maybe we will talk more about that here in a minute. But let's tell everybody who we are from stage right to radio stage left. We've got Rita Alfaro here with us in studio. We've got Amanda Victoria. Of course, you know me, the host, and then the wonderful Megan. Thank you for joining us. Rita Alfaro is with the Fort Worth Public Library and Amplify817.
Yep.
And Amanda Victoria is a wonderful local musician.
Mm-hmm.
Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you for having
Yes.
us. We really appreciate it.
All right, well, down to business. So we're kind of doing this to promote the Amplify817 showcase coming up August 18th at Will Rogers Auditorium. Opens at 6:30. We're going to have Gosagi outside kicking everything off.
Yes, outside in the front doors under the awning, so they will have shade. But again, we talked a little bit about this. If there's bad weather, if anybody remembers last year's, we got rained out.
I was on a motorcycle.
Yeah. The rain hit right as Cutthroat Finches left the stage, and people were freaking out, and we were too. But yeah, any bad weather, we'll bring them inside. But we want them to be featured out there. They are a big, loud group.
Very loud.
Amazing musicians. So we're hoping that people kind of hear that and see that, and it's kind of this welcoming thing into the auditorium.
Did you know that they practice right here in this studio every Sunday?
No, I did not know that. I thought I knew for a while they practiced in the gardens.
For years, at the park.
Yeah. And they're a very interesting part of our community. I hope they're listening to this. We're really big fans of theirs, and we've been trying to work with them for a little while now, so we're glad that they were able to do this for us. But a lot of people, we always talk about music and music communities, and there's so many pockets of that in Fort Worth, and they're a very interesting part because they're also part of that educational component in there, because they do teach as well, and they're not your traditional playing at all your traditional venues or anything. They're a different part of the music arts that we have here, so we're really excited to have them on the platform and also to be opening for us.
Yeah. And I'm glad they've already been on the show once. So if you'll remember to put the link to that episode in the show notes. But for those of you listening right now, you can go back to the Fort Worth Roots catalog and you can find Gosagi. I cannot remember what episode, but it's in there.
Yeah, I remember that. I heard that one. So yeah.
And Rita, you and I have sat down. We actually went into the underbelly of is it now the former library?
Yeah, we're closed now. Central Library is closed. We do have 7. I do like to point out we have 17 other library locations that are open. So if anybody's listening to this and thinking, oh my gosh, the library is permanently closed. No, we're not. Just the downtown location. And we're still looking, I believe, for another space, a better space that we can utilize a little better for what we need.
Let me put you on the spot here. Do you remember whenever that library opened up, whenever that particular branch opened up?
No. I believe it was the 90s.
Okay.
Maybe 80s.
Sounds about right.
It's not. So a lot of people think it's a historical building, and it's actually not. And so...
Well, it's so elegant. It was a really beautiful space.
It was, and it's lovely, and we've done some great recordings, taken some great pictures of it. So there's good memories. But I believe, the insides weren't fantastic anymore, and things were kind of falling apart and grungy, and and we weren't utilizing such a big space anymore. Libraries change; they change with the times, and so what we're looking for is a better space that people will use, and a better physical space as well, just something that's going to get used a little bit more.
And you made a really good point last time we sat down to talk. There's people that have a negative response to oh no, the library's closing. Your central library's closing at that space. And you would rebuttal with, yeah, but when's the last time you went there?
Yeah, a lot of people who were really sad about it hadn't been. It's a lot of memories. And we live in a time of nostalgia. And so I think a lot of people are just like, oh no, like this is closing. But, oh, you haven't lived in Texas in probably a couple decades. So why are we complaining?
So we can't keep this place open just because you went there when you were a child.
Yeah.
That's how I felt whenever I heard about that, though, because I did go there as a kid and I remember it. And then, but it's true, I haven't been to that location in a long time.
Just downtown in general, it was a little harder for people to just kind of casually get to unless you were already working downtown or in the area. And if you're trying to go in the daytime, you have to pay for parking. After 2020, I don't think we were validating parking anymore. We used to do that so you could park in the garage and we could get you I think it was 2.5 hours for free. And again, like we had this big, huge, beautiful children's space and we weren't getting families really anymore. And so even our jazz concerts, we were getting 500, 600 people before 2020. And the last year that we did it, last year, we're still good numbers. We were still getting maybe 200, 250.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But it just wasn't
what it was.
The same. Yeah. So.
Well, and how much of that, and Amanda, you might know too, because you're always out performing in the community. How much of that do you think is just the societal change we've had since 2020? Maybe less indicative of people's love for the library or jazz music, and maybe more along the lines of what's going on with our society now that we've lived through 2020 and people are still kind of stuck to their couch.
Yeah.
You think that's got something to do with it?
I can say, at least from what I've observed with like friends or even just acquaintances, like some people became, I don't want to say hermits, but once they could stay home, and if they were just permanently working from home, like they were just like, I love this and I want to stay home. I hate people. And some people, a lot of my friends were also kind of like going stir crazy and they just really wanted to get back out. I have my haunts. I haunt a lot of places. I have my favorite places that I love and I missed going to them. And so for me, it wasn't necessarily like going out to these big festivals, but mostly just like I miss my favorite restaurant and I miss being able to go and get a coffee over here and, read a book or something like that. So, and I missed live music. That's also one of my hobbies, not just my job, but I really love live music. And so I personally missed that, but I know a lot of people were like, but it's so convenient to just stream it now and stay home.
Right.
It's cheaper and just things like that. So I think we saw a lot of that too. And a lot of people are still trying to stay safe as well. Like a lot of people were coming to our events. People still do, if they know it's a big event and still mask up or will sit away from the crowd. And that's totally understandable. So yeah, it's definitely, there's been a shift. There's been a change.
Amanda, have you noticed a bunch of changes?
Well, I haven't been in the game super long since, I wasn't really in it before COVID. Yeah, so this is super new for me. But I will say I kind of started right as COVID was finishing, and so I think Fort Worth, I don't know about other cities, but I feel like Fort Worth, venues are just popping up everywhere. There's a lot of new places to play now, even just versus whenever I first started. So I feel like people are starting to come out, but it's also not only is it more comfortable to stay home, but it's cheaper to stay home. And, I feel like people realized, I can save money, time, gas, energy just to not go places. But I feel like there is also that people are getting a little stir crazy and just want to go out and experience the city more. So I think it's kind of a balance.
Right. I've heard a lot of musicians kind of discuss the change in people's desire to stay for a late headliner.
Yeah.
The time difference matters now in a different way. Whereas, people would stay out for an 11 o'clock headliner before 2020. And now if it's after 9 o'clock, people start wrapping up and leaving. Seems like.
I feel that. I just thought that was me because I'm getting older.
I've always been like that.
Old.
Yeah. When I was I remember following bands around in college, and we would just all night just drive back and forth and cross over. I remember a band we loved played in Oklahoma City, and we're just let's just go see them in Oklahoma City. We were living in Denton at the time, and we just
YOLO. Yeah,
and then drove back that night, and I was still at my 8 a.m. classes, and it was no big deal. And now I'm just they don't go until 10. I'm really little tired, and the venue's like 5 minutes from me. So yeah, I am that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've always been that person.
Yeah.
So even when I was like 17, 18.
Yeah, I need more
more
brunch shows, more brunch time shows.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if this would be the reason why, and it just popped into my head, but I wonder if like, I feel like the next generation is all about like self-care and like taking care of yourself, and maybe everyone's just like, do we have to stay up like and like, you know, miss all of our sleep or whatever? I don't know, but
funny.
I kind of like the direction that
Rob Zombie, he came to Dickies Arena last year, and I went, and that was one of the comments they made at the beginning of the show. So it started at like 7 p.m. They're like, oh, we're all here for a rock concert at 7 p.m. It's still light outside. Like, making a joke about it, how normally, like, stuff doesn't start until 10 or 11, but it's changing.
Yeah, especially if you have, like, I mean, I've been, like, I go to punk shows, and those have, like, 5 people on the bill, and I'm just like, oh, and they always start late, and I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Like, the last band's at midnight, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, so.
For real, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, not a problem now.
Especially on a weekday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I will. Weekday shows are real hard for me.
I don't know if y'all got the video I made yesterday, but I was talking about the Amplify817 showcase last year and how it was on a Wednesday, and it's like,
Yeah. We're on a
why would you do this to me?
Yeah, we're on a Friday. Because we planned it last year, and we're like, yeah, let's do it on 817. And
Right,
it worked
yeah.
for the Will Rogers
100%.
schedule as well, because we are working with them to do the show. And so, they didn't have anything going on that day. We're just like, this is perfect. And Wednesday's not bad, and we kept a tight schedule, so we finished, I think Cutthroat Finches wrapped up right at like 9:45, again, before the stage had a flood.
Yeah. The stage flooded?
Yeah. Oh, so you might have pieced out. Like,
I had to. I was on the motorcycle,
Oh, yeah.
and somebody's like, I think it's going to rain.
Yeah.
And I looked at the radar, and I'm like, oh, I need to go. And I
Yeah.
made it to the parking garage, and then it just dumped.
Yeah.
And
7th
I got
Street
stuck.
flooded.
It was
Yeah.
underwater. The sidewalks were underwater.
Yeah. And so the stage just and thankfully Councilmember Beck was there, and we're just like, see, like, maybe we should put some funding to Will Rogers so they could fix that. Because I don't think it was the first time it had happened, but yeah, it was just such a heavy rainfall that the stage flooded, and so Cutthroat Finches wrapped up, they got everything off, and then just this pouring like flood of water on the stage, and the clean crew's like, we've got it. Like, they were just taking out their trash cans and
Just
buckets.
another day.
Yeah. And I was just like,
so sad.
It is sad, isn't it?
So yeah, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that's not going to happen this year. But if we stay on schedule, then hopefully we will avoid that again.
So let's turn our attention to the one of our stars from the Amplify817 showcase. Amanda, where are you from?
I'm from Fort Worth. Actually,
All right.
it's crazy
Like to hear
because my first house that I lived in is literally down the street from here.
Nice.
Off of Black Oak Lane.
Okay,
So, yeah.
I used to rent a house a block over from that on Taylor Street.
Nice. Yeah. That was like, I think we moved when I was like 4, so I don't have too many memories, but my older sister went to Castleberry.
Okay,
And yeah. And then we just moved up north, but still in Fort Worth, so born and raised.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can say that. We've got a lot of transient traffic these days.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been here for 14 years, but I'm originally from Abilene, so I don't get to say that either.
Right. Yeah.
But some of the coolest people, like Rita Alfaro and Megan, aren't born here, so it's all right.
Nope.
It's
I'm not
okay.
even close.
Yeah.
I am a Texan, not from Fort Worth, though.
Yeah.
But Fort Worth is home now. I've been here 10 years.
Yeah.
It is officially 10 years in November.
Probably-
I think 11 now in November. So,
Probably just because you didn't want to drive back home, right?
I mean,
It's a long drive.
It is a long drive to McAllen. I mean, I did it in college. I go visit my dad, but now we're to the point where I'm like, I'm just going to fly home. This is just so much easier.
100%.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you can take a rocket
Maybe.
because you're right next to SpaceX.
Yeah. Maybe.
Wow.
Wasn't he working on a tunnel or something?
That was that
Or was
Los
that in
Angeles
that was in
or
LA?
something?
Maybe. I think he wants to do one here. I don't know what he wants to do.
he's a tunnel guy. Yeah, he's a big fan of the tunnels.
I think he just hates traffic, but there's also traffic in the tunnel. So
We all do. But I mean, if you were like an altruistic billionaire, you would definitely want to build tunnels or flying cars, right? Because I-35.
yeah, it's the worst, and it's terrible everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, even once you get in San Antonio and you're on 35, it's the worst. So
I've been holding out for that DFW to Houston
The
bullet
high-speed
train.
rail.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that that's ever going to happen. They're like, it's happening. It's not happening. It's happening. We can't do it.
20 years
we're
from
doing
now.
it. Yeah.
That's like the construction here. Just it takes forever to get anything.
Well, they gave us an answer on that. We know that construction on I-35 will never cease. It's just always going to be under
Forever.
construction.
Yeah.
But
Right.
that bullet train might actually, maybe,
yeah.
maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see what happens.
And toll roads are absolutely worth it. There's a toll that'll take you over Austin traffic. So unless you have a plan to stop, because I go to San Antonio a lot, I have family there. And so if you just plan to go straight to San Antonio, you could take the toll and avoid all the Austin traffic. But if you want to stop by Austin and do cool Austin things, and
When I used to take 35 to go to my sister's house, I would take, there's a toll road that goes around
yeah,
the outside of Austin.
Yeah.
And it's like, the speed limit's like 80.
yeah,
85, I think, isn't it?
it's pretty
It's
high.
good.
I don't
crazy.
even think I do that speed limit because that
Well, you
it's just a
got to.
little
You
too
get
fast
ran
for me.
over.
There's never any traffic on there, so I feel like you could just cruise and just be like, yeah.
I'm almost sure it's 85.
It might be.
Because it's like, if I go 5 miles an hour over the speed limit,
Going
I'm
90.
doing 90.
Yeah.
And that's psychotic to me. Because none of these people can drive.
Yeah. So, but I recommend the toll. If you don't have a toll tag, get a toll tag.
Yeah.
I got one once I started gigging a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm like driving to Dallas all the time. So I was like, this is necessary because it saves hours.
And that
So-
segues into our first question for you, Amanda. I hear you've been traveling a lot.
Yes. Well, traveling, I would say, to Dallas, but I do just like traveling a lot in general, though.
Now, have you been touring?
No.
Oh, no?
No.
So just Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had some different intel there. What
Yeah.
are your
I wonder who said that.
What are your Dallas locations? I'm not going to tell.
I know. Don't say it. Yeah, I go to McKinney, Allen, True, Dallas, just anywhere that I can. But also I do Fort Worth, of course, as well.
You know,
and
those are so far
Arlington.
apart. If you were in different parts of the country, that's like 8 different states.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe that's what they mean. In my brain, like driving to Allen or one of those places is not traveling, but I guess to a lot of people it is.
Right, because you're still
But-
kind of in DFW.
Yeah, for me, I actually love traveling and road trips and things like that. Like I've driven, all around the Pacific Northwest and down through. I have like 250,000 miles on my car right now.
The one that you were telling us doesn't
Yeah.
have good AC.
Yeah, it's not great. Well, I mean, it's usually good as long as it's not 106 degrees.
Folks, we're going to be
outside.
setting up a GoFundMe account for Amanda so that we can get her AC fixed. That's terrible. You can't be in Texas with shit AC.
It's really, really bad. My friend, I just I don't know. I'm one of those people that like, if I can just kind of live with it,
Sure.
then I'll do it. But my friend got in the car the other day and she was like, I can't breathe. I was like, this is just what I do every day. I don't know. In the fall, it'll be fine. Like,
I can
that's kind of
totally
what.
sympathize with that. I mean, we went and bought 2 new AC units for today so that you guys wouldn't just be dying. Because this, what did we say earlier? It was like 90-something.
97. Yeah.
We walked
Oh
in here
my
the other day. We
gosh.
had 3 AC units going, and it was 97 degrees in here. And it's like, nah, I can't have people here like that. That's not going to work.
I had a friend go out
Yeah.
of town recently, and I was watching his house, and he has a cat, and I was just like, yeah, I'll go check in on the cat and watch the house. And his AC went out one of the days, and I was just like, it's really warm in here. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's 95.
That poor
Damn.
cat.
I know, his poor cat was just kind of like, meh.
Oh my
And I was
gosh.
like, oh, are you okay? And so like I was turning on all the fans, and I closed all the blinds, and I was like, I don't know how to fix an AC. I was like, he's like, well, try jiggling this and try doing that. And I was like, I had him on FaceTime. I was like, am I doing this? Like,
Did you try turning it off and
So-
back on again?
Yeah, and so I think it came back on at one point. I ended up spending the night, but I think it came back on because I was like, okay, morning, it's chill. I'm not sweating. The cat looks fine. But I like
Yeah.
he had a couple of
Poor
fans that
cat.
like I just had the fans going, and I was like, do you want me to get the ones from my apartment? He's like, no, it'll be fine. So yeah, by the next day it was back on, but
Yeah. Every time I look at my phone now, like it says like it basically tells you every time you like pull up maps or look at like the weather, it's basically just like you might die if you go outside.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really what it says
Severe
every
heat
time.
advisory.
Yes,
Yeah.
every time.
Extreme health risk.
It's like, wow, where am I living? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've decided that probably it's going to be better to have maybe a summer home in like Montana.
Yep.
something just to get out of here.
Like
from
June through September, we will not be here.
Yeah.
I honestly,
June through September, at
I was
least.
contemplating that yesterday. I was like, I don't know if I can do this for the rest of my life. Like,
Seriously.
it's really bad.
Yeah.
My brother mentioned, he's like, well, he's back in the valley. He's like, I need to move from here. He's like, maybe I'm going to move up north with you. And I was like, it's no better right here. I'm like, it's still just
What kind of
as
heat
hot.
is he dealing with?
It's like the same. It's, I think, maybe like 5-6 degrees hotter, potentially.
Then here?
Than here in the valley, yeah. And so, because it's just South Texas. And,
And
Yeah,
a
I
little
mean, that
more
makes
west.
sense.
Yeah, you're closer to the equator.
yeah, but my dad is very adamant. He's like, he mows the lawn every Sunday, and I was like, you can't be out there in this heat. And he's just like, I'm fine. He's like, I was a migrant worker. I got this. And I was like, but like back then it wasn't this hot.
That's
like,
true.
yes, you were in heat, and I will, I'm not gonna take your experience away. I get it. It was hard. And I was just like, but you're also older now. And so
Well, something that gets people in trouble, and I had a landscaping business for a little bit, and I would hire these, young guys that were in pretty good shape, and I'd say, here we are in June or July, and I'd be like, how are you doing with the heat? Like, are you in a position now that you're exposed to this? And they'd always fire back with, and these guys are 20, 21, 22. Well, in high school I was in football, so the heat is nothing to me. And that's not the issue. The issue is whether or not you are currently acclimated to it.
Right.
Because if you're not, and you go from just regular house cat stuff to being outside in this heat nonstop trying to lift sod,
yeah,
it can kill you.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I'd bring these guys on. They would last day and a half, 2 days, and then just stop showing up. Just not come back because the heat.
I don't blame them.
I don't either. I don't blame them at all. But people don't. They just don't realize the difference between like, oh yeah, suck it up, handle the heat, or working out in this god awful
Yeah.
hellfire.
Yeah,
It's
sucks.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Meg's out in it a lot. So,
Oof.
Yeah.
I've got a job driving a truck, so I'm in and out all day. But I've got bomb ass AC when I get back in the cab, and then when I get out, I'm just like, ugh, this is what you guys are dealing with out here.
Yeah.
Amanda, what do you do besides being a professional musician?
I just try to enjoy life as much as possible, honestly. Like I said, I love traveling. I just hang with friends and, just try to take every day,
Yeah.
Are you a part-time mermaid?
Yes. Yeah, I am.
Oh, no, you didn't want to talk about that.
I forgot. See,
All right. Is this Sequest?
so, no. But actually, Netflix has a new documentary about, it's called Mer People, and I am not anywhere near. So I do princess parties for, birthdays and stuff like
That's
that
awesome.
to help. That's
Yeah.
like part of, the side gig, the side hustle.
Is this your business, or do you work for an agency?
Yeah, I work for a company.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they do it all. I just kind of show up. It's super, super easy. And so, they reach out to me. Usually I'm just like the Little Mermaid, and so that's what that was. They reached out to me and they asked me yesterday if I wanted to do like the actual like in pool like training, and I was like, yes, absolutely.
It's like every girl's dream to
I
be
know,
a mermaid.
right? So yeah, I'm gonna do that soon, and that's gonna be really fun. I don't really talk about that much, so much that I like forget that it's part of my routine. But yeah.
So, what is the name of the place at Ridgemar? Do you know what I'm talking about? Is it Sequest?
No, I've never been there.
So they have a mermaid.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know that
Wow,
she's there
I'm gonna
all
have
the
to check it
time, but yeah, I've definitely seen
Ridgemar
her
Mall?
running around in that tank.
They have like an
Yeah, it is
it's not an
Sequest.
aquarium.
Sequest?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it is an aquarium.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very
They've
moderately priced, and you can spend 4 hours in there, no
yeah.
problem.
They've come out to the library. They've done like summer programs where they'll bring
Oh,
some
cool.
animals and kids can just like.
How do you feel about capybaras?
I love them.
Amanda, do you know what a capybara is?
Yes, I actually saw a really, really funny TikTok about capybaras the other day.
I was on that TikTok for a while.
Which one? The capybara TikTok?
Yeah, I was like every other one was.
Yeah.
I
I
saw-
actually. Oh,
I was to say I saw a video where there was an orange cat who like became
Yes,
like, part of that
yep.
just yesterday, just last night, and I was just like, oh, those are my two favorite things.
One time I had a really. So I have one thing about me is I have really crazy dreams. I have a really vivid imagination, which I think helps with art and songwriting and things like that. But my dreams, I remember dreams from my childhood, they're huge. Just I dream very vividly, and I had a very, very intense dream one time that really it helped me process through a lot of things. But one of the things about the dream was that there was a giant capybara in the water, and I was somewhere in the Amazon, and it was an actual giant house-sized capybara.
A big red Clifford size capybara.
Yeah, exactly. And it was in the water, and it was this huge deal. And then I went underwater and saw this huge sea creature, and it stared at me, and I knew it represented something like really big in my life that I had to process through. But
don't leave us hanging.
Yeah. I
interpret this dream.
Well, I honestly I can't go into it because that's a different podcast.
Okay. All right. Okay. Did you win your fight against this monster?
It was more of like a respect thing. We didn't fight. It was just like, I'm here.
Stand your ground.
I know I need to face it, because it was kind of like facing a fear. So yeah.
Sorry.
That's intense.
Something terrible's happened. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Everybody's phone's on silent, right? It'd be awful if your phone rang.
Oh gosh.
I carry two, so sometimes it gets complicated. Tell us a little bit about Trend Media, Amanda.
I love it. So Blake owns it, Blake Labella, and I met him.
That sounds really familiar.
Yeah, you've probably seen him around. If you haven't met him, he's really cool.
Yeah.
I met him at the Summit Climbing Gym over by West 7th.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, that won't happen again.
And so yeah, like we were friends for a long time before I started working with him, and I started working on music on my own, with just like had relationships with producers and stuff already, and so but after a while I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to start to take this a little more seriously if I really want to do this. So I reached out to him last year, and we started working together in July. So it's really just been a year with Trend, and
he's the owner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a blast. What I love about it is before I worked with him, I didn't feel necessarily like I had like my feet on the ground in Fort Worth, and it just kind of opened up this whole community of like-minded artists to like really feel like we have like a family, a community of people that are rooting for each other, kind of already built in. And yeah, it's been a great year, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Awesome. So what kind of walk me through the process then? You just decided that you were going to start your music career? Yeah,
as simple as that.
So what happened first? Did you decide, okay, I need to find somewhere to play music, or?
Yeah, it kind of, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. I started making friends in Fort Worth that were also doing music full time, and I was like, well, if they can do it, I bet I can. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Somehow I'm gonna have to make money if I really like want to do this. And so I was working for a music licensing company a year ago, and for a few years. And I decided a year ago to quit my job, and it was honestly like the best office job that.
What were you doing?
I was doing client services, so I was just, emailing people. Really, really, really great company. I loved my boss. I loved my boss's boss. I loved the team that I worked with. We could go into the office if we wanted to. I worked with them through COVID, so we also could stay home if we wanted to. Nice. Like, it was literally the best situation ever. And I think, honestly, I, didn't do this for a while because I was so comfortable where I was at, and it was so easy. But when I finally, so last year, so Trent, we like go on this like retreat every year. We're about to do it, Missouri.
Okay.
So I'm so excited. We're about to do it again in August. And
not to be confused with Mississippi.
Yeah, yes, up north, where I'm pretty sure the weather is better. I'll take hot Missouri over hot Texas any day, as far as the weather goes. But so it was there. We were going cliff jumping, like into the water, and I was absolutely terrified. Like everything in my being, I did not. They're like the group behind our group was like waiting on me because I couldn't like get myself to jump, but finally I did. And then I had like a long conversation with my manager Blake after that, and he was like, you know, do you want to do this? Like, do you really want to, you know, do music? And you know, maybe you should. I was kind of talking about how like I felt stuck and I wasn't like happy, even though I had like the best job ever. I was like, I just don't feel fulfilled. And he was like, well, why don't you quit your job if you don't like it? And I'm like, well, I do, but. And he really did not think that I was going to quit my job as soon as I did, because I went like after the retreat the next day I told my boss that I was like, all right, I'm quitting my job. And he like right after I had like my one-on-one with my boss, he texted me and he was like, wait, you're not quitting your job now, are you? And I said, I just did.
Oh my God.
So
were you terrified?
I was, but I thought to myself, I'm not going to be as terrified as I was on the top of that cliff, because that was like, I thought I was going to die if I jumped. But I didn't. Jump. Yeah, and I did jump. Yeah. And then I jumped 2 more times after that. And one time I dove into the water. And so
like
I was like, yeah, exactly. the first training. But yeah, and so I was like, well, I'm not going to fear for my life. I know I can land on my feet. Like, everyone around me was terrified and like, oh no, Amanda did it. Like, we didn't think she was going to do this. And I was just like, guys, I know it's crazy. It's going to be fine.
I got this.
I kind of also have like another little thing in my back pocket, which is I do puppet shows for kids at daycares.
Are you a puppeteer?
I mean, I am a puppeteer in the least sense ever. Okay. So really,
you got a sock on your hand?
It's not a sock. I do have really good puppets. Okay. I have great puppets. So my dad did this in Fort Worth for like 20 years.
Okay.
And he was also a gigging musician before he had kids, and after. So I kind of grew up with my dad already doing like the musician entrepreneur thing. And so when I wanted to, they were like super supportive, my parents. And I kind of like had already seen it done. And so he also taught me how to do that, which I do it like 4 hours a week, and it's like great, the puppet show thing. But I like bring a guitar and like some instruments and some puppets, and it's kind of like a little kids variety show. So
that's really cool.
I knew that I could have that in my back pocket to help out. And then I was like, as long as I just get enough gigs, and now I have Blake to help me. And Blake was like, like, all right, we're just now starting this. So.
This was your idea, Blake.
Yeah, I said, don't tell me something if you don't mean it, because I seem like all timid and stuff, and I think I have kind of like a, well, some people say I'm like super intimidating, and then other people feel like I'm like a very unassuming, so I don't really know where I fall on the spectrum anymore. But yeah, I was just like, you gotta, don't play games, like I will just do it, you know. So
yeah. I think Blake learned his lesson.
He did. We laugh about it a lot now. And we laugh about it because I was like, see, I did it. Like, there's nothing to worry about. And yeah, honestly, it has been like the best year. So that was last year in August. So I'm celebrating 1 year of doing this full time.
Do you think the heat was affecting your brain when you made that decision?
It's very possible. It's It's very, very possible.
I'm trying to consider all factors.
I don't remember it being this hot last year, though.
I don't think it was.
Not. It was not.
No.
This is ungodly. Off topic, down in Florida, off the coast, 101 degree ambient ocean water temperatures.
Yeah.
Is that not
ocean is
that's the
now.
scariest thing I've ever heard. That's crazy.
That's terrifying. That's really sad.
It's extremely sad, yeah, but it's also terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm curious how our beaches are doing here. Like, I mean, well, again, I'm from the valley, so back home we have South Padre Island.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and that was your getaway. Like, yeah, let's just go to the beach. Why not?
Right.
It's hot.
'Cause
And
it's
so
so
now
hot.
I'm like, is it just too hot?
So
I don't
Megan and I were
know.
down in Gulf Shores, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I remember the first day we were down on the beach, I got in the water and I was like, nope.
This is
too cold.
cold.
I'm not doing it. Now she was out there like a trooper and I'm over there underneath the shade like, nah, just remote.
Yeah. I grew
I'll
up
be over here.
going to Lake Superior when it was, 40-degree water temp.
I
So.
don't play that cold water stuff. But anyway, the next day or the day after that, the water was bath water. It was warm.
It was.
It was really comfortable.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it at all. I'm just like, oh, that's how it is at Gulf Shores. But then we got back and I saw that report about the 101 degree in Florida, and I'm like, oh, that's not good.
That's not normal.
That's real bad.
Oh, yeah.
So the times they are changing. Probably a good time to get that AC fixed.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Yeah.
setting
Let's
up
start
a
that
GoFundMe,
GoFundMe.
folks. Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah.
I'm like you though. My vehicle is definitely my last priority. I'll spend money on everything else, but the car is just like,
I'm also missing 3 hubcaps.
oh wow.
That was like my last car. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just never, they slowly, one by one, have just, at some point over the years. I mean, but I've had it for almost 12 years now. Or I think 12 years.
You got your money's
Just have
worth
the
out of
one
this
on
thing,
there now?
folks.
Huh? The one, yeah. It's just one. And I think, because I've also, as I've gotten my tire changed,
It moves around.
I feel like, yeah. And maybe they, forgot. They were like, how many hubcaps were on this thing in the first place? I don't know. So they're just slowly disappearing. I'm considering getting wheels soon, but I'm like, at the same time, it's like, if it works, I just kind of grew up with that mentality.
Yeah, 100%.
My mom is one of the most resourceful people I know, and she just kind of would jerry rig everything and stuff. And so I'm just like, it's getting me from A to B, and I love it.
I tried to conceal the way that I routed the exhaust ducting for the new AC unit. But yeah, it was one of those just make it work for today kind of deals.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I feel you.
I'm also missing the sun visor in the driver's seat, which is a
Oh, that's
little
not
bit
good.
more of a hazard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get those on
But-
Amazon, though.
I can, but it is. I looked it up and it's $100
No.
just for a sun visor. But I have a cube, so they don't make them anymore, which I think that's why. So I'm like,
Do you have a stapler?
I'd be in
I-
there with some
I do.
cardboard and
Yeah,
some
I
duct
just came up
tape,
with an idea. Get yourself a folder.
I can't do that.
Cut it to size.
I just use sunglasses and I have really good eyesight.
Because
There
I
you
swear
go.
my sister got one, and it was really cheap. And it's just like a generic one. It wasn't like a specialty.
Yeah. The thing about the
brand
cube is it is so oddly shaped. We the sun visors are like this big. It's really weird. So a normal size one would literally do nothing.
Was that the one? The advertisement was a bunch of hamsters.
Nope. That's
No,
that's the
the
Kia
Kia.
Soul.
The Soul.
But
Yeah.
everybody
They're about the same
says
car,
that.
right?
Yeah, they're
same shape.
they're like a cousin car
Yeah.
basically. But I like the Cube better. I didn't really like the design of
the Palisade and the what's the other one?
Telluride.
The Telluride and the Palisade is the same car. It's exactly the same. So anyway, now you know that.
Yeah.
Folks, if you would like to donate a driver's side sun visor to Amanda's Cube, reach out to us, media@fortworthroots.com.
Yeah, my Venmo is Amanda Victoria Sound. So
And then the next show, you need to get 2 little tip jars, and one be sun visor, the other one be hubcap.
yeah, just have
for
a picture
AC.
of my car. Just be just so you know, if
Just
you want to help me get to my gigs.
Yeah.
highlight the area that this bucket's for.
Yeah,
This one's for AC, and I'll just highlight the whole car because that's what's affected.
Yeah.
But really, I love my car so much. Again, road trips are a huge thing. There's a hair, and that's gonna bother me.
Get rid of that hair.
Road trips are like a huge thing. Like I've been on road trips like all the way up through Colorado, Montana, Washington, California.
What's your favorite state to visit?
That's so hard, but definitely, I think I have to say Montana.
Okay. I haven't been yet.
It's gorgeous.
Looks
I
beautiful in
actually
pictures.
lived in Missoula, Montana for a year.
Is it real mountainous?
Yes.
Because it's either
Everywhere
mountains
you
or
look.
plains, right? In Montana?
Yeah, like the one side, it's like a lot of hills and stuff. And then when you're in the Rocky Mountains, Missoula, where I lived, like no matter where you look, there were mountains. So much so that like when I drove away and I first saw like open space again for the first time after like months, I was like, this is really weird to like see flat land again. So
I felt like that the first trip I made to Seattle, Washington, and I was there for about a week, and I came back and we flew into Love, and it was one of those days where it's like real windy and it's kicking up all that West Texas dirt and the sky's red and it's hot outside and everything's flat. It was depressing.
And brown.
It was really depressing.
It feels like you're in a different world when you're up there. And I was kind of like, again, I was born and raised in Texas, and my family, like, we always went to the beach on vacation. We never went to the mountains. So my friend and I had like a friend in college that we just like started going on road trips together, and she had never seen mountains either. Like, we had never seen mountains.
And how old were you at this point?
Probably like 19.
Yeah.
And when we first saw mountains, we had like driven all through the night to get up to Colorado. And it was like the sun was rising, and we saw like these figures in the distance, and we literally like, we were like, are those clouds? Are those mountains? Like, we can't tell. We don't even know what they look like. And they were mountains, and we were just like freaking out. So
that's like Colorado. Well, the place that I've been to recently in Colorado is Colorado Springs. And it's like that. You drive in, everything's flat. You don't hit any hills or nothing. And then off to the west, there's these huge mountain ranges.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Beautiful.
I went to El Paso, and I didn't know they had mountains there. I just thought all Texas was flat. And so I'd never been
There's so many different areas in the state of Texas. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my God, mountain. Everybody's like, yeah, of course El Paso has mountains done. I was like, I wouldn't know. I don't come to this border. I'm from the other border.
Have y'all been to Big Bend yet?
I have not.
I have, and it's amazing.
I made my first trip down there a few months ago, and it was just, it completely changed my view of Texas.
Yeah.
Because you can drive 30 minutes, like, across the park and see 8 different, like, environments, like, terrain types, different trees. I mean, we were going down one of the big bad trails that you get a badge for if you, like, apply online and say, hey, I did the trail. They'll send you a badge. And so it's like, I don't know, top 10 course in the U.S. or something like that. But anyway, it started off in the desert, like desert landscape, real flat and deserty. And then we got up into like the mountainous area. And then as we're coming down, we ended up in a lagoon with bamboo. And it was just crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like all these different changes in such a small space.
Wow.
And then, of course, the mountains and all the other beautiful things to see in Big Bend. But just completely changed my view of Texas entirely.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did one hike in Big Bend, and it was like, I guess like the tallest one that they had there. It was the first time I had ever done a hike either. My family, we were not like, you know, outdoor nature people. We were like, let's go to the beach. Yeah. And so I did my first hike. I did not even dress right for it. Like, I wore overalls. Like, that was so dumb. It was so dumb. But I made it to the top.
Is that Santa Elena?
I honestly don't even know. Again, that was probably like 10 years ago.
I made it a third, like 1/3 of the way up that thing, and we turned around and went back.
Yeah, that's what my mom did the same thing, and her sisters.
Lots of steps.
Yeah, it was so awful. It was 11 miles like up and down, like 5.5 I think each way, and yeah, like that was the first time that I thought like I might die after, but
you made it.
We were fine. We came back, and there's like that gorgeous restaurant where you can like, it has like an amazing view, and I ate steak, and so I was like,
inside the park?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think it's inside of what do they call that? The bowl or something?
Yeah, and you can see I think it's called like Hell's Gate or something.
The keyhole, right?
Is that? I don't even know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I remember it being like some gate, but it was like through that was pretty much Mexico on the other side.
Yeah, Mexico's right there. In fact, the Saint Elena or Santa Elena trail, you have to cross the river to start the trail, and I think technically you're still in the U.S., but if you like went this way instead of that, you're in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to the Boquillas crossing, but they had it shut down for wildfires. They were controlled burns. They weren't wildfires. My bad. Mm-hmm. But they do these controlled burns to control the vegetation or whatever. But that was a big bummer. I brought my passport and everything and didn't get to do it. So I have to go back.
Speaking of the diversity of Texas, there's also the Paladuro Canyon, which is gorgeous. And I actually worked there for a summer. They have like this musical that's like in the canyon. So also speaking of heat, down there in the canyon, it's like a clay wall. It's clay walls. And so they were like, you're basically like actually baking inside this like clay bowl.
Let's get out. Wow. Let's go right now.
That was the first, like, there was one day, so I like worked like the gift shop up top. And it was a crazy story getting there. But, there was like one day where I got, like sick, like I was like throwing up because I was so dehydrated, and I was working inside, but the doors were open, and it was like that bad. It was awful. So
I don't know. You're not making it sound great. I don't know if I need to see that.
But if you're not like working, I don't know. It was just drink lots of water. Is really, but it's definitely worth it.
Okay.
Worth it. Yeah.
Right. Very cool. We should talk about your music a little bit.
Yeah.
Albums coming out? Albums already released?
So I don't have any albums out. I've just been doing a lot of singles currently. So the last one that I did it's called Poetry, and it's just a super sad song about heartbreak. Those are like the most enjoyable songs to write, which is like weird because it's sad, and I'm a very optimistic person, but if you listen to my catalog, a lot of it's kind of depressing, so I'm sorry about that. But I actually did, so there's the original Poetry, and then there's Poetry 2, which is it's featuring Crying in the Car, which is Joseph Neville's new project. So if people are listening and you take anything from this, just go stream that song, because it's my new favorite, creation. So
any chance we could play it right now?
Sure. Yeah.
Do you have it on YouTube?
Go ahead.
Or
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anything?
Also on Amplify.
Yes.
Well, that's where we're going.
Yeah, I think there might be. I think the file.
No, it works.
It does?
It works.
Oh, great.
I got it fixed.
Okay.
We've been having a couple of technical issues with our website, and then we'll find things like, I swear it worked when you submitted, and then after that I was like, why doesn't this track work?
And I thought,
Yeah, and we got it.
Okay, yes. I'm so glad.
Well, while I'm pulling that up, Rita, what is your favorite? You were talking about places that you like to hang out.
In Fort Worth?
Yeah, can you give us a couple of your favorite, like maybe your favorite bar, your favorite restaurant?
Ooh, let's see. Bearded Lady.
Okay.
Yes.
I always shout them out. And I'm not even going to lie. Like, I look forward to the first of every month because I'm like, ooh, what's the burger or the grilled cheese of the month?
Nice.
So I really love them. Mass is closed now. I love them. But now we have the Cicada, which is open in that space.
Cicada's awesome.
Super awesome.
It's got a great vibe. I was worried. I didn't know it was going to happen, but
they have an upcoming show next week, and there's going to be free grilled cheese. And I was like, wow, like really cool rock music and free grilled cheese, like. And then the show starts at 7.
And free AC.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Can't beat that.
Tokyo Cafe. I haven't been in a while, but I love Tokyo Cafe. I used to do a lot of homework and work there when I would hang out. So I love them. Where have I been recently? I feel like I haven't been going out a ton. So across the street from Central, or formerly Central Library, is 3rd Street Market. which they'll do like cooking classes and demos and things you can sign up. We've actually partnered with them to do a couple of those things. But their food is just fantastic. They have really cool drinks. They're also kind of like a market, sort of like Roy Pope. If you haven't been to Roy Pope, also, I really love them.
Same area?
No, so Roy Pope is actually kind of off of Camp Bowie area. I know that's a big area.
Is it the one that's like says grocery store or something? Market?
Yeah, it says Roy Pope Grocers. They're kind of. I'm trying to like picture. It's
like right around the corner from Uncle Julio's, kind of.
Yes.
On the other side of Camp Bowie.
Yes, that area. They're really cool. I love these little like we make food kitchen, and also you can get some groceries if you need it. And sometimes places will do little markets, so I really like that too.
I've driven by it 1,000 times. I've never gone in.
Yeah, I used to love Zonk. They closed too recently. They were like a vegan like wing and burger place, and I really liked them a lot. They were actually near the Post. Shout out to the Post also. I love the Post.
Yeah.
Did you say vegan wing place?
Yeah, like they had like vegan wings and like
just like a
vegan,
tofu.
like,
how does that work?
Yeah, I think there was. If it wasn't tofu, it was like. I don't know how. Is it Satan? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Satan? You're eating the devil?
Yes.
I will not eat an innocent animal, but I will devour the devil.
I mean, Seiten, I think is how it's spelled. But I don't know if that. I think it's pronounced Satan.
I'm not gonna. I have no idea.
I don't know. Anyway, it was really good there. They closed recently, so I'm super bummed.
How do you feel about Spiral?
I like Spiral okay. I always get the same thing there, so I'm not like,
what do you get?
Oh, like look at. I always get the nachos.
Okay.
Because it's just a big pile of delicious stuff on a plate. Though I am a full believer in spreading nachos and not piling them. I wish more places would do that. I'd rather have a giant platter of nachos so I get an even amount.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody does that, right?
Nobody does that, but we should.
That was the last place that we had nachos. Was like that big platter.
That's perfect.
It was spread out.
Yeah.
Where was this?
The Edgewise 8 in Weatherford.
Oh yeah. That was pretty good. Yeah.
I do love record shopping, so my favorite record shops that I haunt, of course, Doc's. And Doc's is really cool because they have the vintage market in there. They let us do our instrument lending launch there, which we really appreciated that.
They gave us some swag to give away at last September's event. Yeah. Shout out, Doc's.
Yeah, awesome. Doc's is awesome. We've got the 817 Day poster hanging up there. And then also Panther City Vinyl, which is on Magnolia. Absolutely love them. Super cool guys. I always find like some gem there. So smaller shop, and I know that turns some people off. They prefer like the bigger space like Doc's where you can just dig for hours. But I know that a lot of the smaller shops, I will tell people like it's a lot more curated. So depending on like the genre you're looking for, or like if you're looking for like specific like used gems, like you can usually find them in those small shops.
Have you been into, I think it's called St. Marie's?
Yes, I really like them.
Over there next to Post? Yeah,
so they're really cool. Shout out to them. And I think it's Born Late Records, which is up the street.
Right down the street, yeah.
Yeah, because they're, Born Late's like mostly metal.
I haven't been in there yet.
Yeah, they're like hard rock, metal, punk, super cool. Very nice guys also. Everybody's super nice that I've been to. I've been to some record stores where people just kind of like stick their nose up at you.
Not in Fort Worth.
But not in Fort Worth.
Nah.
Everyone is super cool here, and I love record shopping here. Record Town too, super great guys. You can find some really great like older things there. I don't want to say older, but just kind of like maybe more local, maybe more historic kind of stuff there. Very knowledgeable guys. If you want to talk about the scene from back in the day, they will talk to you about that. But yeah, St. Marie's is really cool because they cater mostly like alternative, shoegaze, even some punk stuff, like indie stuff, like that's what they're mostly catering to. So, and then there's some good Ray Street coffees up the street also. They're very good.
And the Post.
Then the Post, of course. Always the Post. Post has great food, great drinks, always has a good show going on.
2 Amplify artists on stage every week, right?
Probably. I know they have
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday, and then I'm blanking. Avery Burke.
Oh, does she have the residency there?
She
now?
used to. I don't know if she does
I don't
right
know
now.
if she still. Avery plays a lot. Avery is one of the people that definitely is like, she hustles and she is everywhere, all over. I do not know how she's not like exhausted and needs a break.
She's a ball of energy. You've seen her on stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. She's so chill if you ever just sit and talk with her.
Oh yeah.
She's just so chill.
She's been on the show.
When she's on that stage, I mean, she is just like a powerhouse.
Yeah. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. And then shout out to Casa Azul, if anybody's been. Coffee shop on the north side, kind of near Main Street. They're kind of near our north side branch, so that's why, like, anytime I have to go over there to do like a program or something, I'm just like going to Casa Azul. They're literally a blue house. I think it used to be a restaurant before they bought it, and they promised the owners that they would keep it like they wouldn't demolish it or anything. Like, it was going to remain a coffee shop for like the neighborhood. And so very good drinks. They have a churro latte that's like
that sounds awesome.
Good. Right now they have like just like
for us non-Spanish speaking, is that like churro?
Yes.
Is that, okay.
Yes. Yes, it is a churro.
It's beautiful the way you said it.
Churro latte.
But in white person, it's churro.
Yes. They have that. It's delicious. They have some aguas right now, so just like you can mix and match like different fruits and juices that you can have them make for you, and they'll put chamoy in them, which is delicious.
I have to go check that out.
So they close at 4 though, and I'm like, I want one now, and they close at 4, but probably not that far from here, from the studio. So
we should check it out.
Yeah. So those are my favorite haunts.
All right, Amanda, you got your work cut out for you. Do better.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Oh man, yeah, bearded
out?
lady for sure. That would be one of my first.
That one's taken.
I know.
Give us another one.
And they're opening the new Tropical Lady, which is also going to be on Ray Street near the Post.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that.
One thing I will say, positive note about the Bearded Lady is they are, they're a team player with our music community.
Yes.
Like I've seen so many different musicians at different levels on their outdoor stage. So that's really cool. I appreciate that.
And they will host markets also, which I really love. They have really great themed brunches. They're all around. I love them. So.
Yeah. Well, and everything on Ray Street, because I literally live 2 minutes from there.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I'm always at Ray Street Coffee and the Post.
The Post, yeah.
The Post gives out a lot of coupons. So
coupons? You're getting coupons?
I didn't know that. I love coupons.
Actually,
they do.
I think they gave me a couple of coupons and I lost them.
Yeah, no,
Shout
I
out
love
the Post.
Give
me some more coupons.
Yeah. But anything on South Main, I always hang out at Magnolia a lot.
Yeah,
so.
That's the spot.
Yeah.
I roll my eyes now when people are like, "Oh, we're going to South 7th," and I'm like, or West 7th.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I'll go to Kung Fu Saloon.
Parking and
that's the worst thing that has happened to Fort Worth, because one of the coolest things about Fort Worth is there was, for the longest time, unless you were like downtown proper.
Yeah.
Did we have meters down there? I don't even know if you had meters down there.
No.
Parking was free.
Yeah.
Everywhere you went.
Free, and also not everything was a one-way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember all that BS.
But I love Rodeo Goat, and so that's kind of
Rodeo
the
Goats,
reason I go to 7th anymore, and I like Ampersand there as well for coffee. And then shout out to Birdies. I was just there yesterday.
I missed it.
Which is like old Lola's.
I would have gone to that. Were you at the mixer?
Yes.
Yeah,
Me
I wanted
too.
to go to that mixer.
What did I?
I don't think I saw you.
Okay, I might have. I got there late.
Yeah, and I left early.
Okay, so I missed you.
So for our listeners, it was the Here Fort Worth mixer they put on first Tuesday of every month.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, and it's Tom Arnold's. Is that right? Tom Arnold?
Tom
Martin. I'm so sorry. And he does a fantastic job of picking really good venues, and anybody who's anybody goes to these mixers. It's open to the public. It's free. You get to go in there, see what's going on, rub shoulders with all of Fort Worth's best celebrities.
Yeah, usually if anybody on Amplify, like a lot of questions I get is like, how do I get more involved? Whether it's
go to the mixer.
And I'm like, do you want to get library involved, or do you want to get like Fort Worth involved? And usually if it's Fort Worth involved, I'm like, okay, go to a mixer. Like you're gonna meet some great people there. Everybody's super friendly. Music community in Fort Worth is really great. Always willing to help everybody out and collaborate. So that's the first place I always tell people to go.
If I could, I'd go to every single one of them, because I really appreciate what Tom's doing, and Here Fort Worth, that whole thing, and all of our friends are there. So.
Yeah, I really try to go to a lot of them. Again, like it makes Fort Worth seem like a small town instead of like this big city. Well,
the music community, and the reason that I appreciate Here Fort Worth and Amplify817, like we've got something really unique and special here in Fort Worth, and it's because of these little things that are going on. And it does feel small because it is kind of an eclectic group of Fort Worth musicians, and then the podcasters try to wiggle their way in there and be part of it. And
we love you guys. There's so many really great.
You don't have to wiggle at all.
Yeah,
I know. But y'all are the stars, and we just love being around it and sharing your story and telling people about your art. And so, and Amplify 817's been great about bringing us into the fold. Visit Fort Worth has actually been really cool about bringing podcasters into the scene, and we got to go to that. What was that thing? Their big annual event.
The
Visit
cigar.
Fort Worth, something.
Or no.
I'm terrible.
The library has the cigar.
I'm thinking of the
which is very
one.
exclusive. I don't even get to go, and I work for the library.
I think they just call it the Visit Fort Worth annual event. I think
that's the breakfast thing downtown. I got to go. That's how we launched Amplify. That was February 14th, 2020.
Nice.
Right before everything shut down.
No.
But I was on that committee, and so we were just kind of going around bothering people, be like, Amplify 817, please listen to. We only had 4 artists at the time. We were just launching, and they were our starter artists, sort of, and so. And they were all there too, and that was really great. That was Gole, Lou Charles, who was our headliner for our showcase. Oh my God, who else was on there? Jack.
Jack Dahl? Oh, he's an artist now.
My gosh, I'm blanking on his last name. How terrible.
Is it the youngster?
Yes.
I can't remember either. Jack.
It's with a Barksdale. I was going to say Bartlett, but it's not Bartlett. It's Barksdale. I know we had one more. We had 4, and then we had another 4, and we're up to 90 artists now. So it's very hard for me. Like, everybody always asks me, like, describe everybody's sound, and I'm like, at this point, like, it's very hard. I do listen to everybody's music. I do listen to everybody's album.
Well, they can go to amplify817.org, and they can figure it out themselves.
Yes, you can definitely go there and let me know if you want. Or people will ask me to, like, curate a playlist on there, and I'm like, it's gotten way harder than when we just had, like, 20 artists.
Yeah.
I was just like, it takes a long time to curate, like, a specialized playlist for people. So I'm just like, you listen and you let me know what you want on there.
I got to brag on you guys just a little bit. Amplify is amazing in a lot of different ways, but something that's really cool is that whenever you bring musicians on through your curation process and select different artists through the inside the Fort Worth community, they get paid.
Yes.
They get paid to be part of this.
Yes.
And I think that that's undervalued. I think that musicians definitely do not get paid enough. I think whenever people see that they've got a ton of views on Instagram or on Spotify or whatever, they just assume that artist is doing great, but they don't get paid for stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so organizations like Amplify 817, establishments like The Post or Magnolia Motor Lounge or Pouring Glory or McFly's, people that are bringing musicians to their stage and actually paying them, it's special. And if we don't have things like that, if we don't have Amplify 817, if we don't have these venues that are paying our artists, we lose them. They will go somewhere else. They have to. It's how they eat.
Absolutely. And
it's how they fix the AC on their car.
Yeah, we've had people who want to partner with us, and they'll say like, oh well, we just can we do like a collaboration? And we're like, sure. And sometimes we're the ones who'll like pay out the artists. Sometimes which is great when they're just like, yeah, we have a budget, we can afford like maybe 3 or 4 artists, and they'll bring them out for an event. And we've had some people who are just like, oh yeah, like, can you just recommend some names and we can get them some exposure? And I was like,
you can die from exposure.
Our number one
that
thing
is such a great phrase.
You can't pay rent with exposure is what I always say. And so like, it's if somebody wants to take this opportunity and do like a free show or something, like, fine, but I don't like asking the artist to do that. We always ask them like, what's your price? We will see if it's in our budget. If it's not, then we might have to say no, but we'll definitely consider you in the future. So
not affiliated with Amplify or the podcast here at Fort Worth Roots, but are you on Bandcamp, Amanda?
I'm not. I should be. I know I should be.
And whenever I ask artists, like, shouldn't I direct them to Bandcamp? Because Bandcamp's great. You can go in there, you can look through your favorite artist's music, and you can list it for whatever you want, 99 cents, something like that per track, and people can go in and they can pay that. And in my opinion, 99 cents a track is beyond reasonable. But if you compare 99 cents a track versus 10,000 downloads on Spotify, 99 cents a track is worth more money. Like, it's and that's how you would make your money. So I I don't know. I guess talk to your musician friends and see if that's still like the thing to do. But I usually try to steer people towards Bandcamp because it seems like a great avenue to support artists.
It's on the list. I'm just a major procrastinator.
That's all right. That's all right. So if people want to, because we're going to play at least one of your favorite songs here on the Amplify 817 playlist, where can people go to support you monetarily?
So I would say follow me on Instagram, and in my link tree, you'll find in the link in the bio, you'll find my link tree, and that has, you can just, honestly, I have a tip the artist on Venmo and Cash App, and that's a great way. But I'm probably going to start a Patreon soon, or Bandcamp, either.
Do both.
Yeah.
Talk to your musician friends, though, because it's going to be whatever they tell you is
I've
probably
kind of
the right
heard
answer.
both, and sometimes it just depends. If it depends on genre or the demographic that's listening, so it just depends. But yeah, definitely.
So on amplify817.org, you can click on the artist tab, and you can type in Amanda Victoria, and it will bring up these 6 tracks: Poetry, All Right, Out of Love, Basic, Savage, and Poetry Acoustic. Which one would you like us to play for the audience today?
Let's do Poetry, because that's the newest one, and I'm super excited about it.
All right. This is Poetry by Amanda Victoria.
I'm a little obsessed, you never answer your phone, but I still call now and then when I feel alone. And yes, I'm embarrassed, it's pathetic, I know, but I've been thoroughly blessed with an inclination to hope. I write poetry to pass the time while I wait for my heart to heal, but I get sadder with every line. I thought this might make me feel better, but every time I turn to face my heart, it's still broken. The pain's not going anywhere. And I might pick up the bottle to numb all of my feelings. Instead I'll drown my sorrows with a paper and a pencil, and I'll sing it to an audience, and then they'll think I'm mental. I've got to sing it simple as I can say it, and I hope that I never love again.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Who are? It's just one other voice in there. Who are you singing that with?
Yeah. Oh, and that's the beginning of All Right.
I guess we're gonna listen to All Right as well. I'll kind of crank that down so we can talk, but we'll just let it play. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is featuring "Crying in the Car," which is if anybody knows Joseph Neville, who's been on the scene for a few years here in Fort Worth, he has a new project. So that sound is supposed to be like nostalgic, early 2000s, and I thought, so there is a version of poetry that's just me, that like I recorded that whole track.
Your acoustic one?
It's actually not the acoustic is even another one. I just milked this song for all it's worth, which is it's what you have to do as an artist. You just make a million versions of one song, because however many streams you can get, you just gotta get it out. So but yeah, so I made the whole track, and then I was like, wouldn't it just be fun to like do another version with my friend? And yeah, that's what it, and he did the vocal and then added a lot of the electric guitar too. So if you listen to the other version, it doesn't have like that really awesome, it has some electric guitar obviously, and Zane Luce, who produced it, is like a beast and amazing. But then Joseph just, did some more of those like more like rock licks, and yeah, I honestly, I don't even know which version I like more at this point, but yeah, it was really fun to make.
That's excellent. Residencies, you got any residencies on the horizon?
Not right now, just...
If you could get a residency, where would you want to do it, and what night?
Probably the Post,
okay,
because I literally live 2 minutes away. Also, it's a great venue, but I will say it would probably be the easiest for me.
But it's a great spot.
Yeah, and what night? Any night they would have me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to interfere with mermaid duties or puppeteering work.
Right. Yeah. No, I can just schedule that around it. So,
all right.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, Amanda Victoria Music? Sound, excuse me.
Yes, yeah. Okay. Music was taken. There's some other Amanda Victoria out there, I guess, who might be grinding, but...
We want to talk to her.
Yeah.
Figure out why she's holding your handle.
I don't know.
It's not fair.
Yeah, but Amanda Victoria's sound, and it just kind of stuck. I also have, you can find information at amandavictoriasound.com.
Okay.
So a whole...
Very good. Very professional.
Yeah. Well, and my brother-in-law, he's a web designer, so
nice.
Yeah, that really helped out for that.
Can he help us too?
Probably, yeah.
How do we find him?
So he works for. He started a company. Oh my gosh, I should know the name of it. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. I do.
Think you could find it?
Yeah, I'm sure I could find it.
Rita, how do we find Amplify817?
You can go either through the library's website, fortworthlibrary.org, or you can go to amplify817.org to get directly there, or you can just do an internet search and just type in Amplify817 and it'll probably be the first one that pops up.
And you guys are active on Instagram?
Yes, we do have our Amplify817 Instagram.
You got TikTok yet?
We do not.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
It's a city thing why we can't.
Oh.
But we have the Instagram, and then we have I don't know. Is it still Twitter?
Yeah.
We have a Twitter with the big X on it, and then we have our Facebook page also. Yeah, those are our three big socials.
Amplify817.org.
Yes, Amplify817.org. You might see it on some stickers. We just got in some new merch stuff. Nice. Not even, I don't want to say merch. Merch is on the website. So if you do want to support Amplify817.
Got some new swag.
Yeah, we got some new swag, some new giveaway stuff that we will have at our showcase on August 18th. So.
Very cool.
And then some of the other stuff we're doing there, of course, we're featuring Amanda, Goisagi Outside as our opener, Luce Charles, Fantamello, and Denver Williams. Super excited for the whole lineup. I'm just stoked. I'm so glad.
That's a crazy bill. That's excellent.
And it's just a taste of what we have. We have so much on the platform. There's so many different sounds and genres and collaborations in Fort Worth. I wish we could get everybody. I'm limited to rounds. So if you've submitted and you don't get accepted, I'm sorry. We're trying.
I know.
We are limited on spots and funding, and so we do the best that we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much this lineup is kind of featuring people everybody's from a different year, different submission round. So it's kind of really cool. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I would encourage people that are inside Fort Worth or even in the surrounding areas, if you want to see what we're always raving about when we talk about how awesome the eclectic, amazing Fort Worth music scene is, this is the best way to see it in action, is the Amplify 817 showcase. Last year was mind-blowing. This lineup is, it's really good. Yeah. It's really, I guess I can't say better because last year's was amazing.
Yeah, they're different.
This is badass.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And then shout out again also, I missed Tulips. Tulips, great venue. They've been doing the series with us, and so every month they've been featuring a free show that features an Amplify 817 artist. It's usually on a Sunday evening, so nice time, and it doesn't run late.
Yeah.
I think Tavo the Trill is going to be...
Tavo's been on the show.
Yes, he has. Yeah. And so he's going to be, I believe, at the end of August. I think August 27th. I think we just announced it. So he'll be at Tulips also.
Excellent.
So we're always trying to do stuff, feature our Amplify artists in various ways. But yeah, we're excited we're doing this showcase again.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Megan, you got anything for the listeners?
I don't.
You don't?
No.
Thank you for doing this. This is the first time you've been on the show.
It is, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Amanda, got anything in closing before we get out of here?
Well, first of all, it was Nerd Studs.
Nerd Studs. Oh, yeah. I'd already forgotten.
Yeah.
Nerd Studs. All right.
It was Nerd Studs. So if anyone, shameless plug for my brother-in-law, because he is great. But yeah, just stream on Amplify and come to the showcase. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, it's going to be excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, usually we end the show differently, but I'm just going to fade out with some excellent music by Amanda Victoria. How about Savage?
Savage, yeah, that's a good one.
I want to see it.
This one's intense.
That's what we're going to do.
The whole EP is really great.
Thank y'all for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Just you and me. We'll show 'em what savage means. We'll show 'em what savage means. In the dead of night, we'll catch their scent and come for our enemies. I'm coming for blood, you see, 'cause we are untouchable, just like animals. Do you wanna see my teeth? I'm a savage. Are you ready for it?
Big thank you to Amanda Victoria and Rita Alfaro. Again, Amanda Victoria, a rising musician here in the Fort Worth music landscape, and Rita Alfaro, another excellent part of the Amplify 817 team. And this is the second time we've had her on. I feel like it might have been even a third time, but let's just say second time. Anyway, we've had her on independently during the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Glad to have her back on the show. And I got to apologize. That's the first time we've recorded in the big room at the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio. And we had a technical difficulty. Rita Alfaro's hands are the only thing that made it inside the video frame. So, Rita, I'm sorry. You got completely cut out. I think there's like a piece of your knee in it. Anyway, we'll do better next time. The audio also suffered a little bit. It was 110 degrees that day, and we had every air conditioner in the building on. A couple of space fans, area fans, big box fans. So it's a little noisy in there, but we made it work. Guys and gals, make sure y'all try to make it out to this event. Again, this is going to be August 18th, the Amplify 817 Showcase. Your admission has already been paid for. It looks like we're going to have a bunch of show notes for the Amplify 817 Showcase, for the Instrument Lending Program, and amplify817.org. There's all sorts of good stuff here that you can find in the show notes. Big shout out to Fort Worth Public Library, Amplify 817, Teresa Davis, and Rita Alfaro for making this possible. Whenever they bring us along for the ride on any of their projects, it's a big moment for us. These people are out there managing a lot of activities. And for them to take the time to bring Fort Worth Roots podcast into the fold, it's a big pat on the back. So thank you very much to everybody out there at Fort Worth Public Library and Amplify 817. We hope to do much more stuff with you guys in the future. Run through these sponsors real quick. At the beginning of the show, we brought up Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. RoofingSolutionsHouck.com is their website. Their phone number is 817-882-6520. They've been taking care of the Fort Worth Roots podcast for over a year now. If it wasn't for these folks, we wouldn't be here. And now they can take care of you. RoofingSolutionsHouck.com, 817-882-6520. And if you call them and tell them that you heard about them on the Fort Worth Roots podcast, you get 50% off a roofing tune-up. Houck Walker Originals, you can go to houckwalker.com. They offer a huge variety of unique and personalized gifts, also laser engraving to customize just about anything you can think of. And they are making stuff for us again at the September 23rd event that I'll tell you about here in just a minute. They do great work. They do it at a fairly decent price, and you can go check out everything they've got in stock at houckwalker.com. But if you got stuff you need personalized, they can do that for you too. I work with them. They're great. Woodpostmetalworks.com. Go there and use offer code podcast817 at checkout for 10% off. They specialize in metal signs with or without LED backlighting, fence and gate repair or installation, light steel fabrication, industrial plasma cutting, and more. And again, that is woodpostmetalworks.com. Use podcast817 at checkout for 10% off. McFly's Pub, 6104 LTJG, Barnett Road. Anyway, just put McFly's Pub into your navigation. Pops right up. A 1980s Back to the Future themed bar with a very impressive outdoor area and a fire pit. Hang out and bring some friends for pool, darts, cornhole, and jumbo Jenga. I was listening to an episode from a day or two ago, and I keep calling it Jumbo Jenga. What is Jumbo Jenga? Anyway, Jumbo Jenga. And catch a live event. I was wondering if they were still doing the Tuesday night open mic night with Tommy Luke, and I saw a thing on the Instagrams today. They are definitely doing it. So Tuesday nights, you can go out to McFly's and catch open mic night and see some local legends picking and grinning and just having a good time. No cover charge. It's pretty awesome. Check it out. McFly's Pub. All right. Body Machine Fitness, where I should be right now, working up a sweat. But I'm not. I'm here. I'm podcasting. Body Machine Fitness is located over at the Left Bank Shopping Center off of West 7th Street. 2300 West 7th Street is the address. They offer a truly one-of-a-kind fitness experience. Your first class has already been paid for. Go to bodymachinefitness.com. Pouring Glory, the scene of the crime for our September 23rd event. We hope you come out. 1001 Bryan Avenue in Fort Worth, Texas. And it is it's many things. It's also a Pouring Glory growler refill station. A growler is like a glass jar, jug, whatever. You take it in there, and you have cleaned it prior to this because you're a civilized human. You bring it in, they fill it up with your favorite craft beer right there off the tap, and then you're on your merry way. Take it to the house and enjoy it and wash it, rinse and repeat, quite literally, with your growler. So you can do that at a place like Pouring Glory. They have incredible food. I go there every week. I make sure that I go up there and I see Scott and his amazing team, who I call them my friends. You would, right? Well, I think they are. And they're fun to be around. But the food is incredible. The beer is always great. And they've got an outdoor area where you can bring your dog. And on Sundays, you can bring your dog anytime, but on Sundays, they got dog park Sundays from 11 to 4. Close all the gates and you can let your fur baby run free off the leash. So all sorts of fun stuff. Find them on Instagram as Simply Pouring Glory. And we're always posting stuff for them on our social media, but you can go there directly and see what they've got going on that day. Their associate Molly is really good about posting stuff almost every day, letting you know what the special is or what kind of activities they got going on. And they are busy. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming down the pipe. They're putting on an event here after our September 23rd event. It's coming up in October. More details to follow. They're going to close off all the streets around that thing and have a huge vendor market and some other things. But anyway, there's always something going on at Pouring Glory, so not a bad idea to pop on over to their Instagram and give them a follow. Excuse me. It's late. Where are we at? Oh, yeah. Don't forget about our friends at Cowtown Nutrition, located at 5430 River Oaks Blvd. They offer a healthy alternative to that compulsory fast food craving. You can also load up on your favorite Herbalife products and learn about their fitness groups that they hold on location at Cowtown Nutrition. Check them out on Instagram at Cowtown_nutrition. And they will also be at our September event. I talked to April, I think via text, and they're interested in coming to the event, hanging out with us and meeting you people whenever you get there. You people need to show up September 23rd at Pouring Glory for our big event. We are going to have Cassandra May Lawrence, Late to the Station, Itchy Richie and the Burning Sensations, and Jaybirds. They are coming to play on one stage out there for you. And we don't say free anymore, do we? No. It's been paid for by our wonderful sponsors so that your admission comes at no cost. We're going to have a vendor market prepared for you. We're going to have live podcasting, goodie bags at the door, and we're even going to do, what do you call that, door prizes? Yeah. Get a little ticket when you come in, put your name on it, and then we'll be giving away some stuff. Some videos are going to be in the works here pretty soon. I'll start showing you off what we're going to be giving out. Narrowed it down this year. I gave away all sorts of silly stuff last year, but there was a fan favorite that we're going to really focus on this year. A fan favorite that I can afford. No, but you're going to love it. Everybody wanted one of these last year. So anyway, we're going to do it big. And the most important part is this event's benefiting Cook Children's Hospital. So come on out. Come hungry. A percentage of the food sales is going directly to Cook Children's. And the flyer that you might have seen circulating that I put together, took me like a month and a half to put that thing together because I'm real smart and stuff. But there's a QR code at the bottom right-hand side of this flyer, and you can scan it, and it will take you to a personalized webpage that Cook Children's put together for this event specifically. You can go there, and you can donate directly to Cook Children's, and we're going to be promoting that nonstop. We will probably continue to promote that until we reach our goal. This year, we are trying to reach the goal of $2,000. When I set that goal, I was like, that's not that much. And then I thought, how many burgers do you have to sell at 5% to cover down $2,000? It's a lot. It's like $40,000. So we'd have to make $40,000 in food sales to hit that goal. And I'll pass it along. I'll tell Scott, like, hey man, by the way, better get to slinging them burgers. I don't even know if that math is right. I'll check that later. It doesn't sound right, but it would be a lot. So anyway, all that. Okay, we've talked about our sponsors. We've talked about Amplify817. You guys need to come out to that. Amplify817 one more time. That's going to be August 18th. Doors open at 6:30. Our friends Gosagi, Taiko Band, big drums. They're going to be out there. So as you're coming in at 6:30, these guys will be greeting you with the melodic noise of their people, the Taiko Band. They practice at the studio every Sunday. We talked about that in this episode, I think. Did we? Yes, we did. These are starting to run together. We're going to try to put some more episodes out for you. What do you think about that? You can put that in your pipe and smoke it. Okay, that's it. I really am tired. Okay. Next episode up, I don't know. I'm hitting my goal of the first three that I had in the lineup that I wanted to get out, so we'll see what's next. Monday, this might be what I need to focus on now. Monday, I want to get the entire Pouring Glory small business mixer thing that we did. There's like 13, 14 recordings. I want to make sure I've got a lot of it done, not all of it, but we're going to try to put that out Monday. So anyway, we'll give that a shot. Thank you for listening to the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Every time you stream an episode, every time you go to our website or comment on something on social media, it I've been saying this for a very long time. It helps us grow. And now we've got some proof. A lot of people don't like hearing this, but there is some outfit called FeedSpot, and it listed the Fort Worth Roots podcast out of 690 different podcasts inside the Fort Worth area. It listed us as number 1 based on traffic, engagement in social media, and freshness. So 66% of that is you going and checking out our stuff. 33% being the freshness, which I guess means we put out episodes all the time. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take 33% credit for that. The other 66% would be you. So anyway, all that just to say, thank you. Thank you for coming and checking out the show, because it does genuinely help the analytics, and that allows us to reach more people. So thank you. All right, that's enough talking out of me. I'm going to, at very least, see you next Monday and try to get some more episodes out in between now and then. All right, that's enough babbling out of me. Thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful, what is today? Today's Wednesday. All right, we'll see you. Happy Hump Day.